Hello, all you cool cats and kittens. It is The Favorite Comics. This is the show where I go through my favorite comics. You guys get the gist. I don't know why I keep explaining it every week, but that's where we're at. Just explaining things. That is society. That is where we are. We reached the 11th episode of a 16-part series. Now, episode 11 is going to get us going with the Sensational She-Hulk, the long-awaited talking point. I've been super excited to talk about this one, mainly because it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's one of the few stories in my favorite comics. I'm I don't really want to talk about the comic itself, but what it means to me and how it's affected me in terms of the stuff I do in my real life. So, Sensational She-Hulk, the second She-Hulk series to be in our lives. The first one, Savage She-Hulk, it was canceled because of weird sales and nobody wanted to buy it. But this one, John Byrne comes in, he's like, guys, She-Hulk's pretty cool. We're gonna make her really cool. Here's how we are going to make her cool. Fourth wall breaking, innuendos, up the wazoo, but it's going to be smart, poignant, and to the message of this thing that is something I care about a lot when it comes to my comic book viewing, and that is, you can sexualize a character. We've seen it done numerous times. Everyone's done it, but the important thing to me is, if you are sexualizing that character, you make them aware that they are being sexualized, or you don't make it the point where they are the victim of the male gaze or something that they're uncomfortable with. It's fine. This book, The Sensational She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters is super aware of who she is. She's a sexy model just walking around in green skin and tight clothing. She is fully aware of who she is, and she is embracing it. She's willing to get into some precarious situations if it means that she can get out of them later and do it in a way that's important to her and fits her character. That's something I really like seeing. You know, I am a young man, and I've always gravitated to a strong female character. I don't know why it was. I just something about seeing a character that's I can be comfortable with who I am. I can be sexy and fun and flirty, but I'm also not compromising my strength or my integrity because of it. I've always gravitated to those kind of characters because I think there's something really fun about that. Maybe it's because I'm maybe it's because I'm so interested in the idea of using sex as a way to tell stories. I think that's just really fun, you know. Elvira does it, Jane Fonda did it in Barbarella. There's been numerous indications of those kind of characters throughout comic books, throughout literature, throughout movies, throughout film, that are just so focused on this, you are a strong woman, you can use your sexuality as a weapon. I really hearken this book to something like Barbarella, which I don't know if it's an inspiration for this book or not, but the way Barbarella plays off of the idea that love is her weapon, she can use love as a weapon to stop wars, to stop man from destroying itself. It's kind of what Jennifer does in this book, not to that extent, but she's just joking with the audience, yeah, I can charm my way out of this one, yeah, I could get out of this situation, no problem, look how easy it is. That is something that is very cool to see, something I enjoy seeing and something I enjoy reading about. I've always been fascinated by Jennifer Walters a lot more than most other Hulk characters, just because she can't really turn it off. She is always going to be this green, 7-foot-tall woman who's just walking around trying to make herself, you know, a relatable character and human in the way that people will want to connect to her and read about her, which is not something we see a lot of, and when we do, it's kind of just they use her in a way that's weird. I'm not a big fan of the way that She-Hulk is being presented currently at Marvel, just because it doesn't have that impact that this run did. What Sensational She-Hulk did was really just capture the essence of the fun, energetic feeling of the 80s of Marvel. You know, here we are doing some fun stuff. It's the late 80s when we get into this run. Everything's just having a fun feel. Everyone's enjoying themselves, just smiling, having a good time. Jenna's willing to go to different situations. She's going all over the place. Something I really like too. She's a lawyer in this run. She does her lawyer stuff, but she's also yeah, we'll go to space. Yeah, we'll fight some weird monsters. Yeah, I'll team up with some weird people to sell this book. She is fully aware of the comic book tropes, and she's embracing them and doing something very fantastical, very interesting with that series. I just think it's absolutely fantastic and amazing to see what this character has done. And how this relates to my understanding of it is, I have just really used this run, this idea of a character, this version of Jennifer Walters has become a huge inspiration to my comic book writing, because I've kind of become a comic book writer. I'm working on numerous titles all the time, but one of the projects I'm really excited to work on, a lot of that inspiration comes from this style of writing, where it's hey, I get it, look at me, I'm a sexy woman, That's why you're buying the book, is pretty much what she's saying here. Like, you know I'm sexy. I'm going to wear a bikini in the cover. You know, I'm going to wear tight clothing. I'm going to have Spider-Man in to help with sales. I'm aware of all this. That's why you're buying the book. And it's like done in this really positive and interesting light where it doesn't feel like it's degrading to the character or doing something bad. It walks the fine line of being like something that could offend a lot of people or being something that's gonna have like a great uproar and just like show the support for it. I think it's really well done. I love it so much. It's the only She-Hulk run I actually go back to. I'm just like, this is just really fun. And I think they're releasing a giant omnibus really soon for this run, so that makes me very excited. One thing I do like about this book too, and something I really enjoy about classic covers from like the 90s and 80s and stuff, is have fun with the covers, man. Like, you are trying to sell this book. That is something this book is well aware of. You know, we are trying to sell you on the character of Jen Walters. It's not easy to do. We had a book fail before that, but we are trying to get you to read this book. So yeah, here's your goddess. She's got the best curly hair in the business. She's wearing tight clothing. You're seeing those nice legs. Everything about this works really well. I think it's really fun. There's some really iconic covers. I'm going to flash them up on screen when you guys watch this on the YouTube stuff. But it looks so cool. It's so fun. I'm just obsessed with this character. I've always liked Jennifer Walters, and this book just solidified why I enjoy her so much, why this character is special to me, why she is just somebody I care about and is unique. I think this really just sold me on, like, you are allowed to have fun when you are writing. You know, I talked about Sex Criminals a few weeks ago, and Sex Criminals is one of those books that really inspired me. Like, yeah, I am very open and frank when it comes to like the exploration of sexuality and the idea of like using sex to tell a narrative and a story and using it as humor. Well, this is kind of just like, let's be flirty, let's be loose, we're going to understand the story, we're going to have fun with it, everything works really well. You're going to get a lot of your classic Marvel fanfare, which is great to see. You know, you get characters like Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, you get Zemnu, just like a bunch of classic characters, even Death's Head. You guys remember Death's Head from back in the day? He was in there too. It's just really fun. You get your tropey stuff like the beach issue, you get stuff like I Married a Mole Man, you know, that kind of silly, weird stuff, but it's just done with this like really nice heart and feel. It just makes you go, oh yeah, we don't write comic books like this anymore. Not at the big two, at least. At the big two, we don't make comic books like this anymore. We take risks and we let our characters be sexy and fun. I've said it numerous times elsewhere. I don't know if I've ever said it on the channel though. I really want to bring this title back. It's like one of the few titles on the list of like my favorite comics where I'm like, I think I could write this. I think I could go back there, take the idea of the favorite comics, or the Sensational She-Hulk, I should say, and be like, I could write this, I could do something fun and creative, go in this direction again, get new people reading this, and just go back and homage the original run. I think that could be something that would be fun to explore that not a lot of people would take the opportunity to do. And I really think it's a missed opportunity on Marvel's part that they haven't even thought about going back and trying that, because the Sensational She-Hulk is a great title. It's great fun, and I'll be honest with you guys, Tatiana Maslany looks like she could pull this off more than some other interpretations of the character we've seen. I really love this book. It's so funny and classic, and it homages a lot of great stuff. It's got that right heart of like sexual empowerment, I should say. And just mixed with that like strong, vulnerable woman becoming her independent leader and doing something that's really cool and creative. The fourth wall breaking works really well. That's something too that always comes up when I'm talking about stuff like this. Though there's a good and a bad way to do meta narrative or jokes or breaking the fourth wall. And this to me is a prime example of it right from the beginning. In issue 1, right on the cover, she's just holding up, you guys didn't buy my first book, you don't buy this one, I'm coming to your house and I'm ripping up all your X-Men's, okay? So go buy this book. I think that is so cool and so powerful. And just the way she's talking to the reader, like, okay, yeah, like, you guys, you didn't buy the last book that much, so I'm gonna wear a bunch of clothes in this issue so you guys can't, like, you know, get what you want from this book. You like, I'm never showing some skin again, all that kind of stuff. It's really fun, really creative, a great story, and I really encourage a lot of people to read it, because it's not gonna be one of those ones where you go back and you're like, ooh, that doesn't hold up, or that character doesn't feel as realistic as she used to. It's gonna make you go, yeah, this is exactly what I want to see from Jennifer Walters. Why haven't we seen this? And a lot of writers have done more contemporary stuff, but they've never really had this impact or had the weight of it in the way that Sensational She-Hulk really just made a character unique and different from everything else at Marvel or DC at the time. I love this book. It's so lighthearted and fun and creative and has inspired a lot more of my writing and my interest in certain characters and narratives than I actually expected it to. It is 60 issues. Like I said at the beginning, an omnibus is either coming out or is out by the time of this video. And it is well worth your time, well worth your money, and well worth the effort to read it. I encourage you, I implore you actually, Sensational She-Hulk is not going to disappoint you. You're going to laugh, you're going to smile, you're going to be like, I want more of this from Marvel, and maybe one day we'll get it back when Tatiana Maslany rocks our worlds as She-Hulk on Disney+. So that is why the Sensational She-Hulk is one of my favorite comics. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, please give us a rating over there. It definitely helps out. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.